Today I'm going to talk about egg replacers and why they're such a great and economical item to have in your pantry, your prepper pantry, and your your day-to-day pantry. Egg replacers are a powdery substance. You can get them in grocery store or online or whatever that you just add water to, and they serve the same purpose as an egg in baking. You cannot use egg replacers to replace eggs like as a regular egg, like for scrambling or for frying or egg salad. This is strictly for baking. There are also no actual eggs in egg replacer. It's just a series of powdered elements which again perform the same function as an egg in baked goods. There are many different products available for use as an egg replacer. Go to the grocery store or go online, you'll find plenty of them. I've used plenty of them, but I finally settled on Bob's Red Mill. I like Bob's Red Mill products, and I enjoy using their egg replacer. So let's talk a little bit about this egg replacer, and it'll give you a sense of what the other ones are like too. So for starters, this Bob's Red Mill has the equivalent of 34 eggs in it. I think I bought it for $8 to $10. I don't remember, it was on Amazon. It looks like this. Let me show you the powdery substance. There you go. That you just add water to, particular proportion of water. Now you can use these as a whole egg, and I saw on the back you can also use it for one egg white with certain limitations. The ingredients are potato starch, tapioca flour, baking soda, psyllium husk, fiber. I don't know what that is, but seems to work. Bob's Red Mill is gluten-free. This one is non-GMO. And it says for all your baking needs, cookies, cakes, muffins, quick breads, brownies, pancakes, and more. Now, why would you want this? For starters, unlike regular eggs, they are shelf-stable. So they can just sit in a container in your pantry, and you take as much as you need when you want them. You don't need to worry about refrigeration or the complicated process of preserving eggs or whatever that is. You can save your real eggs for real egg outcomes, you know, such as scrambled eggs or whatever. But for baking, you don't need to depend on eggs for that. You don't need to depend on the refrigeration. You don't need to depend on the power grid. You don't need to depend on the fact that maybe you can't get out of the house for a week and you've run out of eggs, but you still want to make bread or cake or whatever. It's all there, ready to go. Also, it's relatively inexpensive. I don't know if you've seen the price of eggs lately, but they're getting expensive. I was watching a video where one gal was at Walmart and she said, well, it's cheaper to go ahead and buy the 6 dozen eggs as opposed to 1 dozen eggs or whatever. And I do believe it's cheaper to buy 6 dozen eggs than 1 dozen eggs. I personally do not have room for 6 dozen eggs. I don't eat eggs in an amount that I could go through 6 dozen eggs in such a short period of time. You know, their lifespan. I don't have the room to preserve eggs. I mean, there's a million reasons why you would only buy eggs in a small amount every time. So even though you may spend less on the eggs per egg or per dozen or whatever, you still would waste money because you wouldn't be able to finish them. Also, you might find yourself stuck in the house for multiple days, as I have multiple times. Coronavirus, there was some inclement weather and I couldn't leave, and we've had huge rainstorms. If I run out of eggs and I don't have a backup, then I'm out of luck, right? Also, food banks. If you are a food bank client, at least in our food banks up here, they just give out 12 eggs per week. So if you are wanting to eat your eggs however you like them, scrambled or whatever, there's not going to be enough eggs for baking or other needs. So again, you can save your limited amount of eggs for actual egg things, and then for baking, it's covered with this great shelf-stable product. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to reconstitute these and how to use them in some cookie dough. So we're going to go ahead and make this up and put it into the cookie mix, which is ready to go, and I'll show you exactly how that's done. So this particular product, you use, excuse me, a 1 tablespoon of replacer to 2 tablespoons of water. You have to read the directions on whatever egg replacer you get because sometimes the proportions are slightly different. So let's get started. Since I'm using 2 eggs, I'm going to use the equivalent of 2 eggs of this replacer. So that calls for 2 tablespoons of egg replacer, 1, 2, and 2 tablespoons of water per egg replacer, per egg of egg replacer. So that'll give us 4 tablespoons of water. So I'm going to add that right now. Once that water's added in, I go ahead and just completely mix it so that the powdered egg and water completely mix, no lumps or anything like that. And you can use this in everything. I used it in a pancake mix the other day. It's just great for baking. Like I said, it's just a wonderful, wonderful replacement, very reliable. And then what I'm going to do is just let it sit for about a minute until it thickens up, and then I'm going to go ahead and add it to my mix. A minute or two to kind of thicken up and bubble up, so I'm going to go right ahead and pour that directly into the cookie mix with all the other liquids. Let me grab a spoon here. Get the rest out, and I'm going to put it straight into the mixer, and then you just go ahead and mix and bake like you were using a regular egg. So that's the story on egg replacer. What do you think? Do you think you're going to go ahead and buy some? Do you think you'd use it? Again, it's shelf stable. It's always there. If you can't leave the house or whatever, don't have the money to buy a whole ton of eggs or the room to store a whole ton of eggs, it's really nice. I mean, look at this again. 34 eggs. That's awesome. All done, ready to go. So it's an integral part of my my pantry, and definitely a time-saving and a money-saving little hack I use for baking. Thank you so much for watching.